God is great. He's great. You're a great God. Everybody sing, you're great. You're a great God. I command you to declare God's great. You're great. You're a great God. Yeah. I don't need no music. You're great. You're a great God. I think about how good he's been to me. Yeah. You're great. You're a great God. King of kings, Lord of lords. Oh, you're great. You're a great God. How great. How great is our God. Sing with me. How great is our God. Oh, sing how great. How great is our God. Lord, you're awesome. Lord, you're awesome.
Yes, yes.
Lord, you're awesome. Lord, you're awesome. We thank you, God. You've been so good to us, Lord. Even when we weren't good to ourselves, Lord God. You've been so good to us, Lord. You kept us, Lord, from danger seen and unseen. Lord, you've been good to us.
Thank you, Lord.
Lord, it's preaching time. And Lord, we call upon you right now, Lord God, for blessings and favor. We ask right now, Lord God, that you would just go before us. That you would minister a word, Lord God, unto us. The Lord God that will help us, Lord God, in our goings and comings. We thank you, oh God, for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. And we ask right now, Lord God, we thank you for being here. And we ask, Lord God, that you will just massage our hearts, massage our minds, ease our spirits. Comfort us, Lord God. Now, God, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And the people of God say, amen. If I may draw your attention just for a moment to 2 Samuel chapter 12. 2 Samuel chapter 12. Are we there? Look with us look with me in verse 18. And it said, and it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died. And the servants of David feared to tell him the child was dead. For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke unto him, and he would not listen to our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? But when David saw his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servant, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself, and changed his apparel and came into the house of the Lord and worshiped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. Then the servant said unto him, What thing was this that you have done? You did fast and weep for the child while it was alive. But when the child was dead, you did rise and eat bread. And he said, While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, Who can tell whether God will be gracious to me, that the child may live? But now he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. What happens when God says no? What happens when God says no? It was laid upon my heart to talk about fasting. And I was wondering in the scriptures, searching in the scriptures, Lord, wherefore do you want me to speak from? The Lord sent me to 2 Samuel, and I said, Lord, I really don't want to preach that. And so I continued to search more scriptures, and the Lord said, go back to 2 Samuel. In this Lenten season, we're about halfway finished in this Lenten season, and many people are going on their 40-day fast. And some of us fast we all fast for different things. But there's a method for our fasting. Because the reality of it is that everybody didn't fast in hopes that God would take them to another level. Some people fasted because they wanted God to forgive them of a crime that they committed. Here we have David in this sense, fasting because he wanted God to forgive him for a crime that he committed. Some of us do fast because God wants us. We want God to take us to another level. We want to make it through something. But this story right here signifies that there's a right way to fast and there's a wrong way to fast. There are things that you should fast for, and there are things that you shouldn't fast for. Even though death and life are in the power of the tongue, sometimes we can't go back and get redemption when God has already recognized the fault. Sometimes we have to live out the consequence of the action, even though it's going to make us feel very different than we think we should. Sometimes we want to cut corners and try to figure this thing out for ourselves. And God said, just because you do that, you got to ride this trial and this tribulation until the end. In this particular story right here, David did an awful thing. The men had gone off to war, and one man's wife was taking a shower. David went to the rooftop and saw her, and saw how pretty she was, and dazzled. And he inquired of the woman. And they said, David, this is Uriah's wife. And David said, bring her here. And David knew her in a godlike manner. And after that, she told David that she was with child. David said, send her husband back home to me. He sent the husband back home, and he tried to get the husband to go and lay with his wife. But the husband said, David, we're in war. King David, we're in war. Why would I go home and dishonor the troops and my land and you? I'm just going to go back to the battlefield. David thought he'd try to manipulate him some more, and the next day they drank until Uriah was good and drunk. And Uriah still didn't go home. He stayed right there, and then in the morning he got up and left, and he still saw that it was not going to work out, because he was trying to cover up the mess in which he had committed. So what then happens is that he sends for the general, captain of the army, and he says, put Uriah on the front line. Because he knew that the only way that he could have this man's wife is if Uriah was dead. Lo and behold, when he put Uriah on the front line, Uriah was slain with the bows and the arrows. Then after that, David took Bathsheba.